very happy puppies right there, because it's cooled down enough that they've all been able to come out together, and they're very, very happy. We're on the common, so they can have a good run around. So Rodborough is kind of common land, so we're at the back end of it now, and they graze cattle up here in the summer, and sometimes we even get a herd of horses and a donkey. And Rodborough Common is on the National Trust, so you'll see it on the National Trust app if you ever want to know where it is. It's also in the Gloss Walks app, which I believe is £1.99 a month. It's considered an area of outstanding beauty, and we have a fort down in there. I can see that fort from my bedroom window, and you can see some windmills over there. So they're always about diversifying the ground, because we get lots of wildflowers up here, and the cattle grazing helps manage that. One of the things that makes this a lovely walk is, again, it's pretty flat for me, you know, with a disability. Very flat, and we have lots and lots of benches, so I can sit and rest as much as I need, which I often have to do, and I have to go at my own pace. I can't go fast, but I'm going to keep you guys filming, because as you can see, it's coming up, there is an amazing view. That's one of the things I think that gets Stroud constantly voted as the best town to live in, because we literally have what they call the 5 valleys. It's all very walkable, even for someone with issues like myself, because like I said, you can find lots of flat walks. You don't have to do all the hilly things, so you can if you're fit enough, obviously. But as you can see, you just get cracking views everywhere, because this is also considered part of the Cotswold escarpment area. And the guys are heading for the trough. There's a trough down there, and Phoebe does like to get in the trough. So this hill here, this is Salsey Common, and then this is Ramwick Woods here, and I'm usually filming on the other side of that, so in Harrisfield, and then showing this view here. So we're on this side now. So this is what I'm saying, there's different viewpoints everywhere, because this is the Stroud Valley, and we've got 5 valleys, all showing amazing views of the Cotswolds. Very pretty, and there's lots of pretty places in the Cotswolds, but this area is very pretty. And up there, let's see if I can zoom in, is one of our first windmills that Ecotricity ever installed. So Dale Vince is like really into, he owns Forest Green Rovers. He's quite often seen on the news as an eco warrior, vegan guy, and he's building this new stadium for the Forest Green Rovers guys. And he's really into all the eco stuff. He owns, at the moment, because he's on about selling it, Ecotricity, and so they were really into the technology for windmills, and that was one of the first places they had his windmills installed, and people weren't particularly happy about it at the time, if I remember rightly. But now Stroud is quite a green area, green and Tory little bit of labour, but it's quite a green area. The greens, or in the loopy party as I call it. So yeah, so there's a gorgeous view coming up, and they've gone in the trough over there. Just had to pause because Reximus thinks it's okay to bark at everybody, which obviously isn't, so now he's on the lead for not listening. It looks like they've been putting all new benches in, which is awesome because I'll get to use them. Very useful. But yeah, you can sort of see the river in the distance. It's like the other day when I did the one at Perisfield, I showed that river in the distance. That is the Severn again. So it's a lovely view here. We love it, don't we guys? Don't we thieves? We love it. And Molly. You love it too, Moles, don't you? Yeah. She never stops. She's just like thieves. Freya's over there. They were all wet except for Kimberly. Except for you. You're not wet, are you? She's sensible, that's why. She doesn't jump in the thing. So yeah, this is, like I said, this is really accessible. Probably not in a wheelchair, but if you had one of those kind of 4x4 jazzy mobility scooters, I think you could do it because the track's quite flat and wide. So a good, decent mobility scooter could do this because it's quite flat, and under the grass is quite stony. So they've made it, you know, so you can grip. And I have seen some jazzy 4x4 versions of mobility scooters here. You just got to follow the main track and you'll be fine. If you try to go off the little tracks, you can't do that. So it's fairly accessible, and I have seen buggies on here as well. And there's lots of little benches you can sit and have picnics. We don't allow barbecues. Oh, look at that sky. I have got my waterproof tied around my waist because I did not want to get stuck in the rain. But hopefully a couple there's a couple up ahead that Rex thought it'd be a good idea to really bark at their dogs. So I'm hoping they're far enough ahead that I can let him off now. Reximus, sit for mummy please. Good boy. Right, now you can go play, but no barking at people please. She's a typical terrier. Thinks he has to bark at everybody. And we've worked on it hard, and he's a lot better than he was, a lot better. But just occasionally he gets it in his head, I'm not going to listen to mummy, I'm just going to do what I want. But he is 11 nearly, and unfortunately we didn't own him from the beginning, although he was in our house. He wasn't trained properly like I would have done, and so he doesn't really understand everything properly. Wow, that sky's looking really bad. Right, I'll pause and I'll film the next bit because we're going to go past this really expensive house in a minute, which will block the view. So I'll show you the next view in a minute. So now we're on the other side. There's like a really expensive house in there. Probably worth $1 million, I expect. It's got land and all that. And so we're on the other side. And that little town here is all Woodchester, which is a very pretty place to live because you have Woodchester Park as well, which is kind of hidden a bit, but it's in a valley sort of here, and it's a gorgeous place to visit, Woodchester Mansion, which is famous for being on the Most Haunted show, because it's supposed to be very haunted with a headless horseman apparently. And it's a gorgeous place, and I shall be walking some of it, not with all of them unfortunately, because you have to, there's lots of sections where they have to be on a lead and it's too much with 5 of them, so I'll probably take a couple of the fitter ones, Molly being one of them, and she's also very well behaved on the lead. So happy Friday everybody. My little munchkins are there, let's see. Right, I've got about start to head back to the car soon. So I've maintained for the last 2 weigh-ins, and I think that is partly because, although I've followed keto, I haven't been tracking. I don't track at the weekends because this has got to be a lifestyle thing. So eventually I will want to be able to do it without having to track. But I had a bit of a rough week with a very upset stomach and vertigo and all this kind of thing. So I wanted to stick to keto, but I wanted to not be stressed about tracking everything. So I didn't track for 2 weeks, and I've maintained for 2 weeks, which is good. But it's not given me any accountability really. So I started tracking yesterday, and no problems, not had any problems sticking to everything. So pretty, isn't it? Such a pretty place to walk. We'll just take our time because this is a hill here. It's the only hill, and it's not very big, but when you've got bad knees and bad feet, it's hard work. So I just have to keep going at my own pace and stopping when I have to. I just go very slow, don't put my knees under too much pressure. But yeah, really pretty. Anyway, I head back to the car. I hope you're finding it a bit cooler where you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye.